Hey, it's Cecil, and it's Saturday, and welcome back to another speed build. Today, we are going right in with making a little hill in the terrain as I prepare to make a Spellcaster cottage. This is a pretty small build, and I think I did a pretty good job of sticking to Realm of Magic, base game, and Romantic Garden stuff. I think I'm gonna keep Romantic Garden for anything that gives like this particular kind of whimsy vibe because it feels fitting. But I yeah, we're building a little cottage sort of. I don't know if cottage is the right word, but we're building a little house in Glimmerbrook. And this build probably would house one or two Sims. If you've got like a Sim couple who isn't planning on having any babies or anything like that, you know? Um, I really wanted it to be kind of up on a hill and covered by some trees and all of that, just to give that sort of mystical vibe. But I also set up the inside with it like being as clear as I could possibly make it. That these Sims definitely have guests over quite often. So I don't know. I like how it turned out. I do some changing up of what I want the stairs to look like and whatnot, but the big thing is just kind of giving it that whimsical uh someone who uses magic lives here. I was thinking about doing a wraparound porch, and then I was like, you know what? I think most of what we're doing is going to be on the inside of the house. So I made sure to make room for like a cauldron. I made sure to include some of the decor from Realm of Magic, and as long as you've got a wand, this is the perfect little place. It's got uh, some garden pots on the porch so that you can grow your own like mandrakes and valerian root and that kind of thing. um, but yeah, it's a cute little house. I like it. It's definitely too expensive for how few Sims it seats. But, I was going to use that, like, stone, brick, whatever, from Realm of Magic around the entire build. But the problem is that the corners, they worked so beautiful on, like, the front-facing rectangles, but the side-facing rectangles, not so much. And it's like, you know what? We're just gonna mix and match our stone slash we're gonna mix and match our masonry. So that's what we did. And I used the really like chunky roof trim. I know that a lot of people like swear by the beveled out. I wanted the big bump out. I wanted it to be chonky. That was the vibe I was going for. We've got a little chimney. I did not fit a fireplace into it. It was not that important for me to do. I'm pretty proud of the amount of like architectural features that I used from Realm of Magic because as far as the short wall height goes, there's actually like not a whole lot. I mean, there's a good amount, but it's not as much as like I don't know. It's not as like there's the doors. There's a couple doors, but like the really ornate, beautiful doors are on medium wall height, and I really didn't want to make the house too tall, you know? Um None of the fences really matched the vibe that I was going for or the wood tones that I was using, which is annoying since a lot of the woods are from the pack. But here we are. I used the Willow Creek mailbox because that felt like kind of the right vibe, you know? So there's a lot of stone, there's a lot of wood, and it's just all around a cozy little house. We've got a kitchen, a dining area, like a sitting room, living space, and then upstairs there is an area that kind of doubles as like an office slash bedroom slash potion making space, you know? um so yeah, I just used regular lights in this area because I couldn't be bothered to try and think of like, you know, if I wanted to use something that would make it more dimly lit. I don't think that they're like ultra off the grid or anything. I think that they just like their little cabin in the woods and having their friends over and, minding their business. I used the kitchen set from the pack, and I kind of hate that none of the fridges and stoves look right with the counters necessarily. And then there's like that swatch on the stove doesn't really exist on the fridge. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that, but it's okay. And the only table is like a long 8-seater table from the pack, so I just went with, a base game one. And that's fine. That turned out okay. The sink doesn't really go with the counter swatches either, so I just put in one of the basin sinks that, slots into a countertop, and it's fine. Once again, while I did have seasons turned on, the seasons was primarily used for it was used for the thermostat and for the umbrella rack. So if you don't have seasons, don't worry. The only seasons items are not items you would be using anyways because you don't have seasons. So as long as you have Realm of Magic and the base game, the build will function. And you might be missing like a little landscaping if you don't have romantic garden stuff. But honestly, landscaping, not the end of the world. If it feels like it's missing too much, which most of the landscaping is base game, but if you feel like you need a little more, you can always just like throw some bushes down or whatever. But I would say, it's cozy and I like it. And I was really embracing just those like deep, warm browns and all of that. And kind of mix and matching like the plain couch with some of the more patterned living chairs and love seats. But yeah, I like it. I have not play tested it. I will say that. So if it looks a little crowded and you're not sure if it's going to function, I make no promises. I know I should really play test things, but I do not always have the mental or physical energy to do so. um, but yeah, no, this was easy. I think my raw footage before I sped it up was only it was less than an hour total that it took me to build this. Like it came together. I was moved by the vibe, and it wasn't huge, which also helps, but the vibes moved me. So we've got a good short little build. It's only sped up by 350%, which is crazy because usually my builds are sped up by a minimum of 600%. So this is like not crazy being whipped all over the place. This is just like, it's chill. We're having an okay time. I was thinking about using the Realm of Magic bed, but it's just ridiculous. I don't like it very much. Like, I like it in some builds, but I did not like it in this one. I was like, yeah, no. But yeah, so here we've got the bedroom. By the front wall, we're going to put, like, the cauldron and stuff, and then by the back wall is where we're going to put the, what do you call it? The desk. And I used the desk from the pack, and I replaced one of the nightstands with the dresser. We used a mirror. I like how everything ended up coming together. It just, I don't know. It feels like a little house. Feels like a little vibe. And I like it. I really do. I'm proud of how it turned out. And I just put like a mid-range computer there. I put 2 of the more narrow bookshelves because, you've got to store your magic tomes somewhere, right? But yeah, no, I I like it. Anyways, we are seriously already almost just about done. We're putting some garden pots in the front. Um, there's only one occult that I would say there's only one occult left, but that's not true. Technically, there's also mermaids and aliens, but I'm not going to build anything for mermaids or aliens because what does that even entail? You know what I mean? Like the game really did them dirty. There's not a whole lot to be done in that regard. Uh, but it's okay. It's fine. Um, we will do werewolves, and then that will be it. The only other thing that we'll do is build a haunted house for at the end of the month, unless EA becomes a struck game company. On Halloween, we will be doing a speed run of the Sims paranormal stuff haunted house challenge or whatever. um, so that could be fun. I sized up the sunflowers because the weeping willow is so big. um and they look too tiny. But you know what? Sunflowers can get really tall, so I think that's fine. But yeah, we are just going in and putting some finishing touches on the build. And these finishing touches are absolutely why it's probably way more expensive than it needs to be. But yeah, so we will do a werewolf build, we will do a haunted house build, and that will conclude our October build series, which is super fun. But man, this was fun to build. It wasn't too stressful, it wasn't too busy. I felt nice and like it was an easy enough build. You know what I mean? Um but yeah. So it's just it has been a week. I'm tired. It is officially like it's fall, and my brain is like slowing down from its initial overexcitement about it being fall. So now I'm cozy, I'm warm. I'm just hanging out and it's nice. It's nice to just be hanging out. I used the wallpaper from the pack. So I used the wallpaper, the tile backing in the kitchen, and I like how that turned out. I moved the mailbox and the trash can because I was like, you know what? I don't know if they're going to be able to access that behind the tree. Like they should by all logic, but sometimes Sims just decide, no. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, but it is definitely officially autumn, which I love. It's it hasn't gotten above 60 degrees like all week, and it's been so cozy. I would have just left it with no air conditioning and no heat in the house and just snuggled under blankets, but one of my cats is he's getting older, and because of that, he gets cold a lot faster. And he was always snuggled right up to me, and I could tell that he was getting chilly. So I was like, all right, for you, I'm gonna turn on the heat. It's not on very high, but it's on enough that it will come on if needed. Um, there's not a lot of small windows in this pack, which kind of bugged me because I wanted to put a small window over the sink and I had to settle for something that was just a little too big to be reasonable. Um, but that's okay. We work with what we've got because none of the base game windows were really they didn't really match the vibe well enough, which you know. But we've got some hanging flowers and herbs above the stove because, of course, that's one of my favorite items from this pack. I love using that item. It's been a while since I actually have, but like, I like it quite a bit. And I wanted to, like, I put down some counter clutter, but I wanted to leave it mostly open. Like, I wanted it to have enough room for at least two people to be working on cooking together because I love the cooking together feature. I think it's so cute, and I love that it gives you more portions of the food. And like I said, I feel like the Sim or Sims who live here probably have friends over a lot, you know? Like, yeah, it only lives 2 Sims, but you can have 6 Sims in here having a little friend group, having fun. Um, like if you have get together and you make a little witchy club, they could all hang out here and do their potions together and, work on spells together, do some friendly duels together. Like it's fun and they're close to the portal to the magic realm if they want to take their club activities over there and I don't know if you can actually have a club gathering in the magic realm, but you know, who knows? Oh, I was struggling so bad with getting the wall in frame the way that I wanted it to. I'm so sorry about any dizziness. um, but yeah, that is just about the build. Thank you guys for watching and for hanging out, and I will see you guys next week for a werewolf themed build. Um, Comment below if there are any builds in the coming months that you are hoping to see. You can follow me in the links in the description box below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And hey, subscribe if you haven't already, because like I said, we have 2 more spooky slash occult themed builds for this month. So yeah, I will see you guys next week for the next build. Bye.